What is up, Kryptonians, and welcome to my Justice League for 2019. This is the video where I count down my top 10 favorite films that I saw all year. Personally, it's been an up and down year for me, but I do want to thank anybody who has tuned in, who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you. I love you. You guys are the biggest reason that I walk around with such a big smile on my face all the time. Just in case you're new to the channel and you have no idea what the Justice League is, I'm a huge DC fan. I'm a huge DC shill, so I just wanted to come up with a new creative way to talk about my top 10 list. Everybody else just calls it a top 10 list of the year. I call it my Justice League because the Justice League is full of some of my favorite superheroes in comic book history. Outside of Superman and Batman, I'm pretty sure that none of the other heroes on this list are in order, but it's still a thing where these are my favorite Justice Leaguers and they correspond to my favorite films of the year. A couple of more disclaimers before I get started, guys. I did not see every single film in 2019. I saw a lot of movies. Like, I saw way more movies than I even reviewed, but I didn't get a chance to see all of them. So if you see some movies that are not on this list that you saw and you're like, hey, where's that movie? It's like, well, I probably didn't get a chance to see it. Also, guys, just want to remind you that this is a very subjective list. My list is going to be different than yours. Opinions are going to vary, and that's awesome. I hope that your opinion's different. I want to see your opinion. In fact, I want to hear your perspective. I want you guys to give me your top 10 list and put that in the comment section below, and let's talk about it, because that's what's fun about film. That's what's fun about cinema. That we all have different perspectives and opinions, and what I like is going to be different than what you like, and vice versa. I do have 10 honorable mentions. These are films that definitely would have made the cut if I had like a top 20 list, but as it stands, they barely missed out. The Farewell, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hotel Mumbai, Fighting with My Family, Marriage Story, Us, Ready or Not, Glass, The Lighthouse, and Waves. That's all of my honorable mentions for the year. There are other films that I liked, but those are the ones that I definitely wanted to give a shout out to. Without further ado, let's get into the list. I'm going to start it off with number 10, which is Zatanna, who is all kinds of awesome. My Zatanna of 2019, coming in at number 10, is Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems is one of the most anxiety-inducing films that I have seen all year. Talk about a film that sets you on edge, Jesus. A film that is so loud, and it's so relentless, and it's so fast-paced, and it's got so much tension, and it's got so much suspense. Masterfully directed, it's got great, gritty New York cinematography. Adam Sandler gives arguably one of the best performances of his entire career. Add up all that and the fact that Julia Fox, in addition to giving a great performance, is fine as shit, then yeah, Uncut Gems deserves to be on this list. My number 9 film of the year, my Black Canary of 2019. I mean, it's very similar. The movie that I picked for my number 9 is very similar to Black Canary. Both kick a ton of ass and they look good doing it. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is the best action movie that I saw all year. In terms of the stunt work and the choreography and the commitment by the actors involved and the set pieces that are involved, like, this is the standard that action movies should be held to. Somehow the legend of John Wick has grown with each movie. He has so many iconic badass moments in this movie. I never thought that Keanu Reeves would be known for anything other than Neo, but hey, he's known for John Wick now, and Bill and Ted, and you know, all of his other roles. But John Wick is just a special type of iconic action figure now in the 2010s. And great action while simultaneously expanding the lore of the world that John Wick exists in. Definitely, I'm excited to see a 4th one, because if they're gonna be as badass as this one, keep making them, shit. Last Black Man in San Francisco is a beautiful personal movie with a story that's about gentrification and loss of self and family and community. It's a film that feels like a big, gigantic love letter to the city of San Francisco. In that sense, it reminds me a lot of my favorite movie of 2018, Blindspotting. Blindspotting was a movie that felt like a big love letter to Oakland, and so it's similar in that way, and it has one of the best musical scores of the year. It's one of the best shot films of the year. Jonathan Majors, I think, was definitely slept on as far as supporting actor goes, and again, I feel like not a lot of people saw this movie. Not a lot of people give this movie the credit that it deserves. I am here to give it the credit it deserves. The Last Black Man in San Francisco, coming in at number 8. 7th film in my Justice League for 2019 is Ad Astra, which I believe is the best sci-fi film of the entire year. The film is definitely not for everybody. It's a little bit more slow-paced, didn't have as much action. Some people didn't like the voiceover, yada yada yada. I get it. In terms of a sci-fi experience for me, this is a movie that nailed all the check marks in the boxes that I look for when I go into a sci-fi movie. It had a very personal and emotional and grounded story, despite the fact that it also has beautiful visual effects and huge spectacle and all this great cinematography. James Gray did a hell of a job with this one. Brad Pitt gives one of the more underrated performances of the entire year. It's a movie that asks the question, like, okay, are we alone in the universe? Maybe. Like, maybe we are. And if that's the case, we're all we got, so maybe we should rely on each other. Seriously, Ad Astra deserves way more love than it got. Number 6 is a film that I feel like is going to become another cult classic in a few years, and that makes sense because it's a sequel to a cult classic horror movie from way back in the day. Dr. Sleep was such a successful and amazing follow-up to The Shining, which is one of my favorite horror films of all time. Not only did this film honor everything that The Shining was supposed to be, but it also told its own story in a beautiful way, but it also honored the book, which is, I know it's like Stephen King, the guy that's been bitching for years that there aren't any good adaptations of his work. Stephen King was giving this movie love because it honored some of the things that he was going for in the book. And because of that, and because of the performances, and because of some of the eerie sequences in this movie, one of the best villain characters of the year, played by Rebecca Ferguson. This movie just had so many things that could have gone wrong, and instead almost everything in this movie went right. And as a result, it's one of the movies that stuck with me the most, and it comes in at number 6 on my list in my Justice League. Green Lantern for 2019 is another movie that not a lot of people saw, but it's a film that I think a lot more people should be paying attention to. Fast Color. Fast Color is, again, another very personal, emotional movie. This is a powerful movie. This is a very intimate movie. This is a movie that is all about the grace, the beauty, the strength, the power of black women, and I love it so much for that. It has amazing performances. Gugu Mbatha Raw was great in this movie. The small kid actor who I forget the name of because I'm always forgetting names on this channel. This movie has probably my favorite musical score of the entire year. It's beautifully shot and lit, and again, it has a beautiful story that I was invested in from the opening frame until the end of the movie. They're making a TV show based on the world and the lore that was created in this movie, and I say, yeah, sign me the hell up, because if Fast Color was any indication, a TV show is gonna be the tits. I meant tits like in a positive way, not like in a sexual, like derogatory way. Like, you guys know how I talk on this channel. This shouldn't be anything new at this point. The Irishman was everything that I thought it was going to be, and it was everything that I didn't know I wanted it to be. It was way more than I expected from a mob epic. Martin Scorsese with this film once again proves that he is one of the best directors of all time. This is masterfully directed and edited. The performances are really the thing that sells you on this movie. Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. All three of them kill it in this movie. This is a film that's not just about how awesome the mob life is, like we've seen that before. It's actually more reflective and meditative and somber in its approach, and it's a film that questions the mortality of men, and more importantly, men that live this type of life. 3.5-hour movie, so yeah, definitely you have to be committed to watch it. But I'm telling you, once I committed to watching it, this movie was a mainstay. It was guaranteed to make this list. 3 on my list is my favorite comic book film of the year, Joker. Joker was amazing. I didn't even know that I wanted Joker when the movie was first announced, but then I saw the movie and I'm like, holy shit. Okay, yep, Joker. Joker is that movie. It is that movie. It could redefine the comic book genre going forward. This is a psychological character study of one of the more iconic villains of all time, and it does it in such a way that allows you to question things in the movie, but at the same time gives you a lot to think about in regards to society and mental illness and all that stuff. Individual performers this year, I don't know, man. You're not gonna find many people that outdo Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix was incredible. He made every single frame of this movie elevated and better than it could have been. I say if DC is gonna give us more standalone character study type movies like this is a great start. This is a great jump off point, because I know that this is a movie that's not for everybody, but for me, it's everything that I needed it to be, and it comes in at number 3. We've reached the top 2 of my list. These are the 2 movies that I loved more than any other movie on this list, and it just so happens my 2 favorite superheroes are the top 2 on this list. Batman for 2019, coming in at number 2 is 1917, a movie that I saw just a few days ago, but oh my god, it's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be high on the list, like very, very high. Top 5, top 3. Now top 2. The technical masterpiece that this movie is from a cinematography and editing standpoint, the way that they went with this continuous one long single take, the way that that technique elevated everything in the movie and it created one of the more riveting and emotionally resonant experiences of the year. Performances are great. The musical score, like most of the movies that are on this list, are incredible. I loved everything about this movie. It is a thrill ride from beginning to end. It's a war epic. It's one of my favorite war movies that I've seen definitely in the last decade. 1917 is coming in at number 2, and that only leaves one more movie left on the list. Superman for 2019, my favorite film. No film of the entire year stuck with me or hit me as hard as this one. No movie all year had me thinking about it as much as this one, and that movie is Parasite. Bong Joon-ho. Okay, I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm not gonna say his name. His name's Bong. I'm gonna start with that. Parasite, I legitimately think, deserves to be in contention for best movie of the decade. This movie has so many things that it's going for. Like, it's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a thriller. It's also got social satire in it. It's a movie that has a message. It's a movie that definitely has some social themes that it definitely hits you with visually as well as narratively through its characters. As soon as I saw it, I was just kind of like, this is probably gonna be my favorite film of 2019. We fast forward a couple of months, and yep, it's my favorite film of 2019. Guys, that's my list. Those are my top 10 films of the year. Tell me what your favorite films are in the comment section down below. We had a great year. Let's keep it going in 2020. Got a lot of big things coming to the channel. I appreciate and love every single one of you out there that clicked on the video, that subscribed to the channel, whatever, showed me any kind of support. I appreciate you, and I love you guys. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.